Part 3 of human characteristics, the average person. Ah, that's what they call it anyway. Probably didn't realize it was a characteristics. That's because it gets given many labels, this one. Now, this is one that I identify with, just because I didn't really have a fucking choice. And it was just welcome to life, old Stu, and this is what you are, man. Even if you try to be something else, we'll just keep dragging your fucking ass back here so you know who and what you're about, But it has many names, this characteristic that I most definitely identify with. And pretty much when I started out, when I found out what it was, this was my first label, a bit of a loner, the no friends type of guy. And yeah, very easily when you step into planet Earth, because as people, that's a rule of thumb anyway, we generally need each other, because that's the whole part of humanity. But due to the characteristics I am, uh, I found those people to be very judgmental on myself, just because to their eyesight I wasn't actually a normal kid. I found comfort in my own thoughts. I found comfort in my own presence. I didn't actually require any human attention, right down to the point I didn't even require my mum once I was able to gather my own. Personally, I think even my mother thought I was a bit weird sometimes. She would leave me in a room, and I'd be in there for hours, fully entertained, coming up with my own thoughts, doing my own things, and very happy to the point I wouldn't even think to turn the light on just because I was so happy in what I was doing, even in the dark. I probably freaked my old lady out now and again. Sorry about that with mum. But once until I grew up in life that I started realizing, hey, there's other names. Uh, you might know it as a bit of a Sigma, one of those ones. When I was in the military, I learned more about it. But in that environment, they call it the grey man, And once I started learning more about myself, it was easy for me to exercise who I was, because it's who I was naturally. Now you'd think joining a place like the military, would be a bit of a weird place for people like me, just because I wasn't really a people's person. Didn't really need you guys. But it wasn't until I joined the military that I learned this other part of myself. That one, yes, it was easy for me to hide, very easy. Uh, Pretty much I'm the character that can just show up right in front of you, and you still wouldn't even be able to see me. And you probably wouldn't even think that could be done, But it was a helpful skill to have for myself as a person, just because my true nature is I don't like to be amongst people. Anything that people get into, I'm not really into that, And it's only because I don't see the excitement in it, I don't I don't have the same value as an alpha when it comes to human beings. I could very easily live on this planet all by myself and still be happy. That's actually not normal, okay? Like, don't even try and do that type of stuff. You're either it or you're not it, okay? Generally, human beings, we're meant to be together, That's what human beings are meant to be, just turns out Stu was a bit of an exception to that one. Uh, at times I was a bit embarrassed until I just learned to embrace who I am and just, oh well. But one thing I do like being myself, One thing I really do like about that, uh, we'll just call him, I'll Stu, the average guy, One thing I love being about the average guy is the fact that I can just stand back and just watching human beings exist in this planet is just so fucking interesting to me. It really is. I can stand there all day and just watch people how they do things, and I almost can read what they're about to do, just because I've done it for so long that I can just tell. To the point I can just sense it in whatever's going on in the air that is around me. You see, I'm very clued on and sharp in that environment where you need to start figuring out what's going on, but no one's fucking saying anything, You know. But being able to watch people, But here's another thing that I picked up, and a lot of this came to myself without even fucking realizing it. It was just following my interests, really. But that's how I got to learn the alphas, and that's how I got to learn the betas. And you'd be a fucking ignorant cunt to not want to learn off them. You see, I don't actually have their abilities in myself by my own natural abilities, I actually had to learn it, So, probably in a lot of talk that Stu comes across, maybe you might think he's a bit of an alpha. I'm not. But I'm definitely proud to say that I've had a lot of alphas in my life that have definitely taught me good kaupapa, and I, I can only respect them and them for that one, eh? But the same with our bravos, our betas, just that level of focus, eh? That those fuckers can go to, and just the channeling they can do, eh? The fact that their mind is way stronger than their fucking body, that's for sure. And again, I really respect that, eh? But definitely I took it upon myself to learn each craft, eh? You see, how I explain it is, yeah, no, fair enough. Over here, I'll Stu's a bit of a fucking right-handed cunt, you know? And then I can't use my left hand. That doesn't mean I can't try and use it. That doesn't mean I can't try and learn. And that's all it is when you go to learn other different characteristics. Just try, man. Yeah, there's no reason for you to be what you are, and that's all you have to stay, eh? You know? And sometimes there are those fucking cunts out there that can actually do both very easily, eh? You know? And that's generally down to that person, and probably they just find it intriguing like I was too. But one thing I did find in life, and I still find in life, is just watching human beings conduct themselves. I have no fucking idea why that's so interesting to me, but it really is. One of the reasons I like doing door work or bouncing work is because of the people. It's a bit of a weird one. I've never really showed up for drinking, or especially if I do bouncing. I'm not really interested in the drinking for myself personally, but I do like watching what alcohol does to people. And here's the thing: even alcohol gets a bit of a bad rap, but not everyone's a fuckwit on alcohol. Eh? Some of them are quite funny. Uh, Once you see humanity the way Stu sees it, I guess you'll actually learn that we as people definitely don't need alcohol. We actually don't need a lot of things. You know, the happiness is really inside us, but if we can really find out who we really are. Eh? Now in the military, they always called me the grey man, but I thought I could get away with it. Eh? The thing with the grey man, you'll never know they're there. They're always hiding. Oh, they're there and doing the mahi and all that. Like you don't get away with that one, but it's just that hiding factor. Like being in plain sight but not being seen, like you're always around but nobody gives a fuck about you, and that's why I love being called the average guy, because no one focuses on the average guy, because they're just fucking average, man. But it was also the umbrella I needed to succeed in my life, just because part of my knowledge of learning how people work, I also knew, hey, where there's good there's bad, eh? And it always surprises me where the bad is. Oh yeah, sometimes it's closer to home than you realise, hey. But I didn't find that out, and it was just through my mistakes. Believing in the good of people. And sometimes when they're real close to you and you find that they're not really supportive of you, that's when it starts sucking in. But you have to accept those ones, eh? Just move on and go forward. But being that average type of person, eh? It's really up to yourself to reach out in advance on other different characters, really. But I would recommend, if you're learning different people, like you don't have to ask questions, just observe. And that's been my main strength for myself personally in life. It's just taking a step back and just taking a good fucking look at the world for what it really is, taking a look at everybody for what they really are. And I found because I hadn't conducted myself like that over time for years, I no longer look at a human being as a physical being. I actually, when I look at people, I only see the spirit in them. You can't lie to me who the fuck you are when I'm looking at you, because I can see right through you, right into that soul. Because it always displays itself. If you don't know how to control your mind, you end up damaging your spirit in some sense, and that's what I spot. You're attacking yourself. But that ends up what happens for people like myself. Because every time I move around this earth, I'm only seeing the soul of the person, whether it's a good soul, bad soul, hurt soul. It doesn't really fucking matter. It's just the soul. Eh? I actually feel very lucky that I have this gift. I actually love being an average person, because there's nothing fucking average about it. Eh? Once you know, I'll still care for you. Pretty mean, alright.